Call the meeting to order. It's 6:33, I believe. We're missing one regular member, Tom Gosey, tonight. So Peter, if you'll be a voting member tonight. Does anybody have any adjustments to the agenda for tonight?
I move we accept the agenda as presented.
Okay, it's been moved in a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved in second that we accept the agenda as written. All those in favor? 500. Minutes of April 9th. Did everybody get a chance to read them over?
I move we accept the minutes as printed.
Is there a second? Thank you, Peter. It's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes of April 9th. All those in favor? 500. Okay, I have the finding of facts for the Guys and Dolls Barber and Beauty Lounge. If you want to start them out.
Mine out of the way so I won't get mixed up. And,
There you go, Bruce.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Okay, before us we have, give that to Randy. The final plan application and review for David and Sandra St. Clair. So if you all turn to page 30 in our subdivision ordinance. Okay, I'll need a motion on each individual item in the performance and design standards. We'll start with 10.1, which is basic subdivision layout. If you look through there, A is not applicable because there's no underground utilities or sidewalks in this application.
I move it's not applicable.
Well, wait a minute. There are some parts that are.
Oh,
Oh,
B1, lots are perpendicular to the streets, and that's true, so that's applicable. If you look under B2, minimum lot size, in the R2 zone, it's 60,000 square feet. None of the proposed lots are really 120,000 square feet, so none of them are under that 60. So that B2 is not applicable. B3 is not applicable either. B4, lots are not greater than a 5-to-1 ratio. And B5, the 9/11 officer, Randy, will review them. It's a little early for them to be reviewed because there's no driveways in there. Isn't that what you told me, Randy?
What was that,
George?
The 9/11 officers review the numbering. You said it's really not applicable now because the driveways aren't in there.
Right.
Okay. And under C, the lots, it's not applicable because the lots are not in a designated growth area. So that, I think, leaves us with B1, B4, and 5. So I'll take a motion on those.
I move that the applicable portions of section 10.1, B1, B4, and B5, the standards have been met because the lots are perpendicular to the streets. B4, the lots are not greater than a 5-to-1 ratio, and B5, the E911 officer will review the numbering.
Okay, is there a second on that motion?
Second that.
All those in favor? 5-0-0. Okay, 10.2, which is sufficient water, and I guess that continues on page 31. Okay, there's a couple that aren't applicable here. A12, find it. A1 is not applicable. It's not within the 1,000 foot of existing water supply. 2 is not applicable. Again, it's not serviced by public water systems. 3, individual wells, let's go with 3A. Individual wells shall be sited and constructed to prevent infiltration. Okay, under 1, it's not a dug well. Number 2, I believe you've added that, Scott, that,
Number 2, that, the verbiage for number 2, exactly, word for word, has been added to the final plan.
okay,
Drainage request. So it would be a matter of the record.
all right, so that's on the Mylar and all. Placement of the wells, I guess you don't have those on there yet because they're, or do you? I'm sorry, I haven't seen the final.
No, there's no well on there. I mean, test pits are on there, so.
Right,
The lot design shall permit placement of wells, and all the lots are big enough at 60,000 square feet.
right.
Space between the wells.
And that'll be determined whoever digs the well, right?
Yeah, the well driller will have to meet that, and whoever does the septic system will have to, all the setbacks.
Right. There's no central water supply, so that's not applicable. The fire chief, I believe you all have a letter from the fire chief saying that there's no additional fire ponds or anything needed. And B, water quality, I believe you can see the conclusions of the letter from Emery on dated June 13th of 2006, where he says the water quality is good there. So I'll need, yes, sir.
I had a question on one, the proximity to a public water supply on that, 1,000 feet. How far away is that subdivision from that?
From Route 1.
Yeah.
How far it is?
Refresh my memory, Probably would have applied more to Ryan's Pass, the initial one. Just, I'm not.
I think I looked for that. I don't believe it's on there, Scott. But
It is, okay. I hadn't given it any thought till we read it tonight, because the other one, the original one went through with wells. And the second one, Serenity Lane and stuff, was also with wells. Inadequate, I never really looked at it. It's okay if you don't have it right there, Scott.
It's too, yeah.
It's okay if you don't have it
If you
right.
want to move on right now, I'll get you.
That's okay. It was more of a curiosity, thinking we're going, and there's probably gonna be more up there. But they'll all be further away. Thank you.
Is there a motion on sufficient water supply?
I move that condition 10.2, sufficient water, the parts that are applicable have been met, which are 3A32, that's been added to the final plan on the Mylar. A3Bs are met for the same reason. A3D, there's a letter from the fire chief saying it qualifies. And B, there's a letter from Emery and Garrett dated June 13, 2006, that concludes the water quality is fine.
Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
It's been moved and second that 10.2 sufficient water, the applicable parts of that have been met. All those in favor? 500.
You got that right down pat, didn't you?
10.3, erosion and sediment and impact on water bodies. I believe that's been met. If you look at the sheet C3, you'll see their erosion and sediment control plan there.
I move that part 10.3 is met based on sheet C3 showing an erosion and sediment control plan.
A second?
Second.
Moved and second that 10.3 erosion and sedimentation and impact on water bodies, performance design standard has been met. All those in favor? 500. 10.4 septic disposal. 10.4A is not applicable because it talks about the public system, and the public system isn't there. If you look at 10.4B, it's a private system, and all lots have been certified by James Marple S304, that they meet the minimum standards for the Maine State Septic Code.
I move that standard 10.4 sewage disposal, part 10.4B, the applicable part has been met based on the certification from James Marple.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
It's been moved and second that 10.4 sewage disposal, part B, which is private systems, has been met. All those in favor? 500. 10.5, solid waste. Town manager has signed off that the town can handle any increase from the additional lots.
I move that standard 10.5 solid waste has been met based on the town manager's sign off.
Is there a second on that?
Second. Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter. All those in favor? 500. 10.6, impact on natural beauty, historic sites, wildlife habitat, and so forth. If you look at Part A, preservation of natural beauty and aesthetics, there's no clearing of large trees or disturbance of the land by the applicant. I believe that's been met. B is retention of open spaces. It's not, that area is not in the comprehensive plan as an open space preservation area. It has no unique natural areas or historic places or areas, but the applicant is designated 199,819 square feet as open space. So I believe that's been met. Is there a motion on that?
You want, you're gonna do the whole 10.6?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because we haven't talked about C, D, or E.
Oh, I'm sorry. Protection of significant wildlife habitat, which is C. I believe you have a letter from Keel Kemper dated 11/16/17 saying it has minimal impact on wildlife. D, protection of important shoreland areas, it's not applicable. And E, maintenance of open space, the applicant has lot owners association in place at this time. Thanks, Brian, for bringing that up. I missed that.
I move that standard 10.6, impact on natural beauty at all, has been met based on what George just said.
Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. 10.6, impact on national beauty, natural beauty, et cetera, has been met. All those in favor? 5-0-0. Guess we're on page 36, which is 10.7. Conformance with zoning ordinance and other land use ordinance. In the zoning ordinance, the subdivision meets more than the minimum dimensional requirement and design criteria of the land use ordinance. For the zoning district, they are located in the map. You can see map sheet C1. So I believe that's been met. Is there a motion on that?
I move that standard 10.7 has been met based on the information in map sheet C1.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded that 10.7 conformance with the zoning ordinance and other land use ordinances have been met. All those in favor? 5-0-0. 10-8, financial and technical capacity. I believe it's really not applicable. There are no improvements planned in this.
I move 10.8 is not applicable.
Is there a second? Thank you. All those in favor? 5-0-0. Ten -9, impact on groundwater quality and quantity. Well, again, if we look at the conclusions from the letter from Emery and Garrett, dated June 13, 2006, he says there's no problem with either the quality or the quantity of groundwater.
I have a question, George.
Sure.
That was done in 2006,
Right.
and so that's quite a while ago, and 12 years ago, and is there any time limitation to that? In regards to there may have been changes?
Well, I know what you're saying. The major problem, and Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, was the town transfer station area.
Right, the study was all done because of the town's transfer station. And there really have been, so there's not been significant development
Yeah,
The DEP's evidently determined that.
In the landfill.
It's gone.
yeah.
That's in the landfill,
Right.
yeah, capped.
Yeah, that's all been capped, and I forget when the last inspection from DEP was, but you're right, they've cut out inspections on that. And that was a problem, because it flowed down from the landfill.
But on, like in George,
Go ahead.
on 1091, E, they said on there that analysis evaluates some of the groundwater resource, we do that in residential development, minimum include projected post-development nitrogen, and wells and the subdivision boundaries, how do I say? Oh, F is a map showing the location of any subsurface wastewater disposal systems, that's on there. Drinking water wells and drinking water wells within 200 feet of the subdivision boundaries. And you haven't located those on there, but you have enough room to do it. That'll come down to the well driller. And who's putting the house where.
Right.
But if you want to give a pass on that,
Well, that's what we said before, you mean keeping the wells 100 feet from roads?
no, I'm just saying it'll be on the plat. F. A map showing the location of wastewater and source and location of drinking water wells.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't think they can put the drinking water well location yet until they put the houses in, can they?
That's usually what happens. Because that's why they want to put the house, determine where the septic system and the wells go.
Yeah, we already got the test pits are on the map.
Yeah, that's why we get the.
Yeah, so it shows that part's covered.
Right.
I said, you want to give a waiver on the second part of it?
It proves that each lot can be perk tested with research standards.
Yeah,
And we should, then, shouldn't we?
the
Yeah.
wastewater's already taken care of. It's just, we're gonna have a location of where the wells we talked about.
Yeah, you want to,
You can give a waiver with any kind of wording you want on it.
Yeah. I
And
think,
there's cover the butt, that there's a reason why we approved the thing without that being on there. That's what I'm looking at. If
I
that was
move we give a
requirement.
waiver for part 10.9F, because you cannot locate the water wells or the septic until the houses are built.
Second that.
it's been moved and seconded that we waive the 10.9F, or 10.9.1, 10.91F requirement of the water wells. You second that?
Keith did, yes.
All those in favor? 500. We'll have to look at that,
Septic is already located.
when there's no
Where the test pits are.
house lot.
We were down with something like that on the thing on Prospect Street. We had small lots, you get into it, and you have the wetlands.
Yeah,
And in that case, it had to do with the septic.
I can tell you, in some towns, the way they do it is you've got your test pit, and based on the test pits, you could assume a 3-bedroom home septic field is gonna be like 20 by 50 or something, Randy. And then if you put a 100-foot buffer around that, it says, well, the well can't be there because it can't be within 100 feet. So anywhere else on the lot, the well can be. I've seen other towns do it that way, as opposed to dictating where somebody has to put their well.
yeah.
So that's just perfect.
You don't wanna do that, no.
Scott, do you put that on your Mylar, though? No, I'm not asking you to do it now. In the other towns, is there some way you,
Some towns do, and some towns do it by note, just like you've done with the road.
Yeah.
Some towns have that, and they basically just put the statement in there, like your ordinance says somewhere, I think it was back on septic,
right,
that, septic wells have to be located to meet state of Maine plumbing code, which theoretically, the septic guy and the well guy have to do by law anyway.
yeah, or lose their license, I guess. Yeah,
A way for the planning board to cover themselves and feel more comfortable.
Thank you. I have a motion on 10.9 then?
I move that standard 10.9 impact on groundwater quality and/or quantity has been met based on the original letter of Emery and Garrett.
Is there a second on that?
You're gonna put that waiver in there, you're not
Well, we did the
We
waiver.
just did the waiver.
gonna, more than that's all.
No.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded that 10.9, impact on groundwater quality and quantity has been met. All those in favor? 500. 10.10, impact on groundwater, I'm sorry, we did that one. 10.10 is floodplain management.
not applicable, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's not in the 100-year flood zone area. If you look at Appendix C
Not yet.
of the application.
Yeah.
At least this year, it's not in that area. So, can I have a motion that that's not applicable?
So moved.
So second.
Well, this is second. Is there a second on?
Bruce did.
Bruce did? Is that what that was? Thank you, Bruce. All those in favor?
I said so moved, and I said so second.
500. Okay, 10.11, identification of freshwater wetlands, rivers, streams, and brooks. If you look on map C1, you'll see all those areas have been identified.
I move condition 10.11 has been met based on map sheet C1.
Second it.
But moved and second that 10.11, identification of freshwater wetlands, rivers, streams, and brooks has been met and seconded. All those in favor? 500. Okay, 10.12, stormwater management. If you look at map sheet D1, there's a maintenance plan of stormwater management facilities. In the application also, beside that map sheet D1.
And there is the chapter 500 stormwater permit that's been issued by the DEP.
Yeah, you gave us that letter last meeting, I believe, or,
Yeah.
We've got it right here.
yeah.
I think we attached it to our submittal for this meeting.
Let's give it to us tonight.
So is there a motion on that, stormwater management?
I move standard 10.12 has been met
The
because the
applicable one.
DEP permit has been issued and there is a maintenance plan included in the application.
Or second?
I think it goes for the ones that are, I say applicable. And they're-
Okay.
Probably all of them are. We don't have watershed out the Great Pond. Neither requires.
So the applicable parts of that, is that the motion?
Yeah.
Applicable part.
If that goes good with you, Brian?
Sure.
Because D really doesn't get in there.
And you seconded that, right? All those in favor? 500. 13, cluster developments. I don't believe that that's applicable in this case.
It would have been good.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah,
So moved.
Second,
moved and seconded 10.13 cluster developments is not applicable in this case. All those in favor? 500. 10.14, compliance with timber harvesting rules. Believe that that's not applicable either.
That was
So
done-
moved.
That was done previous. The trees were gone.
Yeah, they're going already. Is there a second on that?
maybe,
Did Bruce second
He's quiet.
Bruce is quiet.
Okay, I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that 1014 compliance with timber harvesting rules has been met. All those in favor? 500.
It used to be a deer wintering area.
Traffic conditions and streets, 10.15. I believe that that's not applicable because there are no new streets being proposed in this.
So phase two had the new street.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
The prior phase had the new street.
Yeah.
I approve it's not, I make a motion it's not applicable, because the new streets were done in the prior phase.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
Moved and seconded that 10.15 traffic conditions and streets in this case are not applicable, is not applicable. All those in favor? 500. Okay, I guess we need a motion on all applicable performance and design standards.
I move that all applicable performance and design standards have been met.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor? 500. Okay, if you turn to page 5. Article 2 of the subdivision is, again, statutory review criteria, which is a lot of overlapping, which we've just gone through. So, but we'll need a motion and reason on each individual item in the statutory review criteria. So A, will not result in undue water and air pollution. I believe we covered that in 10.4, sewage disposal. 10.9, impact on groundwater quality and quantity, and 10.10, flood management.
I move A has been met based on what we covered in the prior sections.
A second on that? It's been moved and seconded that that's been met, 10.4, with 10.9 and 10.10. All those in favor? 500. That was A. B, has sufficient water available. We covered that in 10.2, sufficient water.
That has been met.
Second.
And moved and seconded, B has been met. All those in favor? 500. C, will not cause unreasonable burden on existing water supply. Again, we covered that
Not
in,
applicable.
All right.
well, we did cover it in 10.9, impact on groundwater quality,
Okay.
because it was wells. You can
Existing
say it's
water
not
supply.
applicable if that's the way you want to go.
Okay, we can do it the other way.
Okay.
If we're going in there, we have other wells there. I guess that is the existing water supply, huh?
Yeah.
I'll second
We
that.
assume that the 2006 one will cover
Right.
that.
We're assuming that,
We're thinking it's gonna do it in the future, too.
yeah. It's been moved, does it second on that?
Yeah, Brian did.
Brian did?
Yep.
Been moved and second, thank you, Brian. All those in favor? 500. D, will not cause unreasonable soil erosion or reduction in the land's capacity to hold water. We covered that in 10.3, erosion and sedimentation and impact on water bodies. And we also covered it in 10.4, which is sewage disposal.
I move that's been met because we've covered it previously.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded that D will not cause unreasonable soil erosion, et cetera. It's been covered previously. All those in favor? 5-0-0. E will not cause unreasonable highway or public road congestion. I think we said that wasn't applicable under section 1015, traffic conditions in streets.
So is that met because we covered it before, or it's not applicable because it's already been covered?
Whatever you want to go with.
I'll move it's been met because we covered it in a prior 10.15.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Moved and second that section E has been covered previously under 1015. All those in favor? 5-0-0. F, will provide for adequate septic waste disposal. I believe we covered that in 10-4.
I move that's been met because it was covered in 10.4.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, section F has been covered previously in section 10-4. All those in favor? 5-0-0. G, will not cause an unreasonable burden on the municipality's ability to dispose of solid waste. We covered that in 10.5, solid waste.
I make a motion to met by using 10.5.
Second.
Moved and seconded that section G has been met due to it was being covered in 10.5. All those in favor? 5-0-0. H, will not have undue and adverse effect on scenic and natural beauty of the area, and so forth. We covered all that in 10.6 previously. Do we have a motion on that?
I move that's been met because we covered it in 10.6.
Second.
Moved and seconded that section H has been met because it was covered in section 10.6. All those in favor? 5-0-0. I is in conformance with duly adopted subdivision ordinance and so forth. We covered that one in 10.7 previously.
Make a motion's been met, we covered it in 10.7.
Second.
Moved and seconded that I has been covered previously in 10.7. It's been approved. All those in favor? 5-0-0. J. Again, with this financial and technical capacity, which we said was not applicable, there was no construction. We have previously covered that one also.
I move it's not applicable because there's no construction.
Meet the standards of this section.
Is there a second on that? I'm sorry, do you second that one, Bruce?
No, I was just reading the thing.
Oh,
It doesn't say about the roads, it's the capacity to meet the standards of this section,
right,
which is all the other things in there,
right.
whether between its wetlands, open space, wildlife, water supply, all the rest of it. And I said met,
Oh, you,
because we've approved all those things.
Yep.
okay.
We wouldn't prove them if we figured he didn't know how to do it. Don't go there, Bruce. Oh, he said once before he had plenty of finances to do all this,
That's right.
many years ago. So I guess he can do the financing part, and he's done the other one, so I guess he has a technical capacity.
Would you like me to modify the motion? to have it been met.
Yes.
Okay, so modified.
Is there a second on the motion?
You second, I'm gonna second it, I thought.
Did you second it?
I'll second that.
Will you? Okay, thank you. All those in favor? 500. Okay. I believe that one's not applicable. Whenever it's situated entirely or partially within the watershed of any great pond or lake, and so forth.
I'll make the motion, it's not applicable.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and second that K is not applicable. All those in favor? 500.
Trout Brook is outside of it.
L, will not alone or in conjunction with existing activities adversely affect the quality and quantity of water. I believe we covered that previously in 10.9, impact on groundwater quality and quantity. Is there a motion on that?
I move that's been met, based on, we covered it in the part you just cited.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and second that we covered that section L in 10.9. All those in favor? 500. Okay, M is probably not applicable because subdivision is not in a flood-prone area.
I move it's not applicable because it's not in a flood-prone area.
Second.
Moved and second that M is not applicable. All those in favor? 500. And all freshwater wetlands within the proposed subdivision have been identified. I believe they're on map C1, which we previously covered.
I make a motion, it's been met by the map on D1.
Second.
C1, I think. All those in favor? 500. Oh, any river, stream, brook within or abutting proposed subdivision has been identified on any maps. Again, I believe that's on C1.
I move that's been met, it's on map C1.
We have a
Second.
second. Thank you, sir. All those in favor? 500. P, proposed subdivision will provide for adequate stormwater management. I believe we covered that on 10.12. Is there a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second that section P has been covered under 10.12. All those in favor? 500. Q,
Not applicable.
not applicable.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Q is not applicable. All those in favor? 500. R,
The same for R.
not applicable.
All right, second.
Moved and seconded that section R is not applicable in this case. All those in favor? 500. S, not applicable.
All right,
Yep,
Is that a motion? Thanks, Bruce.
you're welcome.
It's been moved and seconded that S is not applicable. All those in favor? Are you in favor of that one?
yes.
Thank you. 500.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I'd read the next one.
No. How about T?
Liquidation harvesting.
Liquidation harvesting. Is that not applicable in this case?
Not applicable for phase 3 of the subdivision.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded T is not applicable for phase 3 of the subdivision. And I
You gonna
believe,
vote? Is that a 500?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
yeah, I'm sorry, 500. Believe we need a motion on all applicable statutory review criteria. It wasn't covered in Article 10.
I move that all applicable standard review criteria have been met.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all applicable statutory review criteria has been met. All those in favor? 500. Okay, at this time, we should take a motion on the
Yep.
subdivision application. I'd like to add to whoever makes the motion that the condition that the section of the road between lots 13 and 16 in a westerly direction, and also the road that's our way, must be completed to the subdivision specs and inspected and approved by the CEO or town manager prior to lot 17 to 29 being sold.
And I think that's on C1 as a condition for approval.
Okay.
So I move we approve the subdivision application with the conditions you just specified.
Is there a second? It's moved and seconded that the application be approved with a condition so stated. All those in favor? 500. Okay, Scott, let's get the show on the road here.
Would you like to sign now or have an EDD done for you? I know you're not like this.
No, let's sign them. You got an ink pen for those, or for the Mylar? too? You know that anyway. If they want ink or not. Oh. What's this shit?
It's my notes.
And George has got the same thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just you two?
Yep.
Yeah. When you go down through, he has stuff all written down.
You don't
That's
think
it.
I'm that smart, do you?
Yeah, well, I look and say, geez, they've got a, I don't have that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it. Peter doesn't have that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, he's got, he had a little thing
Cuts
down there
down my
about,
writing and,
no, he had, I think you got some other, George had some other stuff in here. Almost like motions, so maybe it was this. One of them has like, had a whole bunch of writing there. Yeah, I guess this. It's not applicable, this and that.
saves me
And a
writing.
little advanced, advanced stuff.
Oh, it helps out a lot.
Yeah, it does. Help all of us. I'm looking, what page is he on, anyway?
You want to sign that, please? Please.
Oops. Put my legal name on. Jeez. Not the other one. I better do this one the same way then.
This goes back to,
That's probably one they're gonna have. Yeah, he'll sort them out the way he wants it. I don't know, if they don't like ballpoint. Do it over.
terrific. Oh, you're kidding? Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's just a pain in the neck.
Oh, and I can never keep up, you know. Do you know the name of that person?
That's why, we thought when they were doing this, the way to do it was to go up and come down. And the road, right, too. So when we do downtown construction, you can find that, it's going over the run.
Did you try and get to the fire?
Yeah. I wanted to get sand, yeah. Did you try to go there? I wanted to get some sand, to fill in a couple of holes I got, just a little like 3-gallon buckets. A yellow gate right across. It was the salt.
Thanks, Scott.
Good luck. So, and I didn't ask the chief yet, I was asking stuff about the flying saucers. I was more concerned about them. They were there last night too.
The flying saucer guy.
Sliding Saturday.
All right, let's,
Northwest of my house, yeah.
let's move right along, and number 8 is board review and comments on on-site. We didn't do an on-site because we got a call that Mr. Colby's application's on hold for a little while, so.
You tell them the price goes up, we have to do that.
Is it just, on, is it just on hold, or does he want to withdraw it?
I've heard both,
No, just
so,
If he wants to withdraw it, I'd suggest he put it in writing. just to
Yeah.
Cover up
yeah.
stuff.
So we'll find out for sure. I think Randy's going to be talking to him, so. Randy? You have something?
Yes.
You want to talk about?
Couple of update notes. We have received an air emissions license for Irving Oil, which brings them up to their current code where they're supposed to be. I have a couple of questions. I'd like to ask the board their decision on it. I've got a home-based business out on 326 West Main Street where the counseling center is, right on the corner of Sandy Ridge Lane and Route 1. Joe Callista's property. He rents the upstairs. to an individual. She does art. She sells Kincaid art, Kincaid portraits, whatever they are. Thomas Kincaid, yeah. And she has a place down here to Searsport, for crying out loud. Antique Mall, thank you, George. And what she wants to do is she wants to take one room in her house and kind of just have a gallery in there where that she can show certain things, because she can't sell them online. They have to be able to see them, and then she can order them. I look at it as a home-based business, but I want to get your feel on that as a planning board.
Where's the address again? Where is it?
326 West Main Street, straight across from LaHaye's veterinary shop.
It is, that's the one, yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was like a medical thing, yeah.
It is downstairs, but he rents the upstairs to a woman who lives up there.
So it's already commercial.
Yep.
Yeah, call it home-based business. Right? Yeah.
Okay?
Doesn't seem like the
Yeah.
impact's gonna be any greater than what you're
No.
getting in as far as the medical part.
The second one is the old bank building down here. A woman that is using that for art classes has approached me to start a kindergarten class to teach children how to paint. I've already talked to the state fire marshal. The state fire marshal requires a second means of egress out of that building, because it's gone now from it steps it up a class because it goes into education.
Just education, not the number of people.
That's right, it doesn't matter how many people, it's education. So, again, I bring this to your attention so you guys know what's going on in that sense.
This is the, used to be Left Bank Books.
Yes, yes.
Left Bank Books, the Democratic headquarters, it's been a bunch of things.
So where is the second exit?
Hmm?
Where is the second exit?
There isn't one right now.
Oh,
It's kind of funky how it works. With certain things, you can use a window, but you can't use a window when it comes to education.
okay.
An education facility, you can't use a window as a means of egress. The windows there, we know, are big enough to throw a cat through, there's no question about it. But for practical purposes, you can't expect a small child or even
Yeah,
kids to go through a window. It's just not feasible.
when they're thinking education, they're thinking young people rather than adults.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
Plus, it's a
And-
change of use, so they've got to come before us anyway, right?
No, it's not
No.
a change of use,
No.
it's just,
I don't think
it's
so.
just adding to it,
Okay.
basically. I mean, it's still an art gallery, or whatever you want to call it, arts teaching, but she's going from, using it for her clients now to an educational thing, and that's why I checked with the fire marshal's office,
Yeah.
because now she's teaching it to children or students under 19, now it becomes an educational thing.
Then, to me, she's got to comply with the fire marshal.
Yeah, gotta reply with the fire.
Given that, if she were to provide another means of egress out of the building, would that, it would have to, I would think, conform to the architectural standards of the building?
Yeah,
Couldn't just go putting a steel door in there
right.
and say, that's it.
The Historical Society.
Right.
Still-
Yeah, it has to meet the construction standards, yeah. Yeah, which are,
But aesthetic standards also.
yeah, right,
I see it as your call, Randy.
okay.
There's one other thing that does concern me, and I talked to Randy about it, is parking. There's a bunch of smaller children, I think, aren't they elementary school?
Kindergarten
children?
class.
Kindergarten kids. I can't see tying up the parking on Main Street with those, if they're gonna stay with their kids.
Yeah, we get the, this is gonna be after, I could make the thing, they're gonna come in the bus. They have one spot, but it's the same thing with all of them, they get spots out front. Like the coffee shop, he gets multiple people in there.
Yeah, they could
Or
they could park
Grasshopper,
down the
we-
back.
It's a problem, well, they can only be out there for so much, some of those are designated for certain things.
All right.
Oh,
I think,
But we got it everywhere.
yeah, but we do own that, the town owns that property across from Tozer's.
Yep.
And I think the owner of, not the owner, but the rentee or whatever of that property could instruct the parents to please park down there if they're gonna be there for an hour or two.
If they can find a parking place anywhere.
Yeah.
On the
Well,
main
across
st-
from
on the main street,
Tozer's,
yeah.
yeah. Across from Tozer's is normally open,
Oh, yeah, but this,
on Goodell Street past the pizza place?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
yeah, that's what it is.
That was my only thought, really, beside the fire marshal, beside the second entrance, yeah.
Probably do what everybody else does, up park in Bangor Savings Lot.
Yeah, try.
At night,
At nighttime, it's different, yeah, but,
yeah, well, that's what we're talking about, the thing. I know. Otherwise, if it's during school, they can come down in the bus.
I don't think so.
I don't think it'll be
Baldwin County
during
Public
school.
Transportation.
Okay, I got one more. Cook's Crossing has been sold, or it's under sale pending. I met with the prospective buyer today, and he wants to open it up, same as it was before. I mean, I don't know about ice cream, but he still wants to do the same thing, food distribution for restaurant type of thing, whatever you wanna call it. And, it's been over 2 years, it's been 3 years, Baxter says it's been 3 years since they last opened. Our ordinance says that after 24 months of, well, let me read it. I'm reading out of, let me see what I'm reading out of.
Pretty much
Land use ordinance.
discontinued use.
Out of the land use ordinance, it says that, should any use subject to the provision of this ordinance be discontinued for 2 years or 2 continuous years, such same use may not commence again without approval of the code enforcement officer. And I looked through the other ones, I looked through the, site plan, I didn't see it's still 24 months. It's still going to be a restaurant, I guess I'm gonna use that term loosely. What's the board's feeling on that? I mean, the person doesn't have a problem with it or anything like that, but I did tell him, he's gonna do some aesthetic changes inside. That all comes under just maintenance. He's going to, the upstairs over the old building has never been finished. He's gonna finish that off just for his own personal use, which is fine. They are going to put in an outside, toilet separate between, at the end of the camp, the end of the, train building, on the other end where the lobster cookers were. They're gonna put one in there so they have accessible, a bathroom outside, which again all falls within the code, because I laid it out for them today with the distance from the septic and the tank, so that's all accessible. The big question is, how do we want to handle this where it's been over 3 years?
I think you can handle it. It says that way, what you're talking about is over 2 years, he has to get a code enforcement officer permit on it.
Right,
It spells it right out, that
Right.
you can, then he has to get it from you, that you do it.
right.
Yep.
And if I'm interpreting it right, if it was like 6 months, he could just do it.
Right,
It's just been continuation of the use, but since it's over 2 years, he's gotta go to the code enforcement
Right.
officer, not the planning board.
or if it's, and I went into another part of the ordinance, I think it was in the, site plan, it says that if it's a drastic change of use, it is not like, then it goes to the planning board.
Right.
I don't think it's drastic.
Hmm?
I don't think that's a drastic change.
If
No,
that was
I
gonna be
don't-
Walmart going in there.
no.
Yeah.
But this way, it keeps you guys informed of what's going on, and then
Yep.
if somebody comes up and says, hey, what's going on, such and such and so and so, you guys know, and,
Yep.
and I've got your blessing on it, I guess.
You certainly do. Yes.
And we appreciate it when
Yes, we do.
someone comes up and says, what the hell's going on down there?
Yeah.
You're doing it,
That's it.
or if they have a complaint.
Right.
I do get, may I put the mic on? I do hear comments from a few people around about the different junkyards around town too. Of, junkyards, There really are junkyards and some just plain
Junk.
junk around
Right.
places. Some businesses there that really look like hell.
Right, right. I have been
All the stuff
approached by,
piled up, an ongoing business, but they get
Yeah.
everything piled there.
I've been approached, and James and I talked about it the other day, and I'm trying to get these guys narrowed down where they're gonna get this stuff cleaned up. So far, I've had good communication with them. They're gonna pick it up and they're gonna deal with it, the ones I've talked to. It's a process getting them to do it. The thing is, bluntly, if I don't keep bugging them about it, and I don't say anything, it gets piled ahead of them.
It's gone away, but I saw Carlton the other day, guess he's not gonna have his dirt track there, they took all his buggies.
Hmm.
So, he's one of the things, anyway. Trip up Prospect Street is always interesting, Prospect and Block Road.
Up around the corner.
Randy, I just had one question about Cook's Crossing. Is the septic okay for another,
Yes.
because that stream's right there.
Yeah, yeah, that system was, that building was designed, that septic system was designed for so many flow per customer, and that's the way it's set up, so they're not gonna be able to add customer base, so they could actually put on 3 more bathrooms. It's set up on how many people are there, so it's set up on the, I can't remember now, I think it's 40 people, that come in and out over a period of time. It's 15 gallons a day flow. It's a fairly good sized system, 1,000-gallon tank. They got grease taps on it for their, railroad car, yeah.
They could have a lot more than 40 people.
They could, yeah.
Is that a sealed system, Randy?
Is it what?
Is it a sealed system, just
Is it
a
a
tank
tank?
that has to be pumped?
Yes, the tank is sealed, and it goes into a stone bed field. The grease trap is before the tank, which it has to be, and it has to be cleaned periodically, it has to be cleaned out. And this guy that's,
But it does go to a leach field.
yes,
That was your question, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. This guy that's doing it has got, I think he told me today, he's got 10 different businesses. He's got 3 right in Bangor. I'll mess his name up, so if he's listening tonight, Maraschino's, it's down across from where the old police station used to be. There's a restaurant and a couple other business, and he's got 10 businesses altogether, but he's got 3 right there in Bangor.
One across from the police station, so,
We're across from where the old police station
yeah,
used
that's
to
a
be.
2 Visa card.
I gotta be, I think it's
Italian.
Mexican or something cuisine,
Yeah,
yeah. So, and I tell you what, I was really impressed with the guy because he called me last Thursday and wanted to meet today, and Baxter told me later on this afternoon that the same thing, but this guy says he will not do nothing unless it meets the code. He wants to make sure everything he does is right up to code and standard, and I kinda appreciated that because it gives me a good feeling that, you know, he's not gonna do anything he shouldn't.
I'm just a little concerned about
Yeah.
the septic.
Yeah, I'll check
because
into that.
40 people isn't much.
Right.
If he opens the full,
Oh, man, they're-
it'll help that clear cut regenerate.
and the sewer, the public sewer's right there.
It is now, yes. Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know, is it that side of the street, do you know, or?
No, it's the other side of the street. It is the other side of the street, because Buddy had to bore under to get on the other side of the street. Or something.
I didn't-
Oh, wait a minute.
the town water went down. through
Town water's on that
that. I didn't
side.
think the town sewer went that far, I thought it stopped.
Oh, it goes down the foot of Porter Street. That new manhole they put in, not Porter Street. Route 1.
Old
where
Route 1.
Old Route 1, right. There's a big manhole, and that's where it stops.
That's the pump
They
station.
get rid of all those septic tanks out there?
Most of them,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I said.
yeah. And they don't have to tie in until theirs fail.
All right,
Once their system fails, then they have to tie into the town sewer. I've already got one up there that's tied in now. And he tied in shortly after they put that extension down through.
they're gonna be redoing Route 1 in front of there, right?
Right.
I thought they were gonna stop Station Avenue.
And I thought,
Yeah, I guess it is still.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah, so it won't be coming through there.
right where your buddy owns the corner lot there.
Yeah. I just check out
Yeah, no, I can check it out, yeah.
that septic because,
Yep.
you know, it's just as easy to hook into
Oh, yeah,
the town.
Yep.
I know he doesn't have to, but
right.
if he gets enough people in there,
Mhm.
and we've got a problem, that creek's right there. That would be my only,
Yep,
how close is he to the town sewer there, though?
sewer's right there, goes down old Route 1,
No,
Old Route 1.
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, no, it goes right down, it comes out, both of them. It goes down Route 1,
oh,
and it comes out old Route 1, it comes down to that manhole, it goes right by both of them.
Okay,
oh, okay, I
So
thought
it's
it was
right
water.
below
Yeah,
him.
I didn't know, sewer, yeah,
but,
That's right below him then.
yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was, you just said it was Old Route 1 that
No.
went, picked up, those trailers were in there with that gravel fill.
To my
All those
understanding, it
fill
goes both
tanks.
of them, yeah. To my understanding, it goes both of them, because if I can remember correctly, when, oh, shoot, that one right across from Mangler's, when they done the remodeling on that, that system was leaking right in the ditch. And I worked with them through a grant to get that in there. They put a tank in it, and that one pumped all the way from there up to Route 1, old Route 1. So it might be just on old Route 1, that might be right. I'll have to check into that with Howard to make sure. Because I know that tank pumps all the way across up to old Route 1 from that seasonal rental building.
Oh, see, the old
Yeah.
Moonlight?
Yeah, Moonlight,
Moonlight, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I was wondering about the solar place, or
yeah.
Parentos and stuff.
The guy changed his place in his car, now he's at main place instead of him.
Yes, he does.
All right, anything else, Randy?
Nope, that's it.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, so much for the public, she didn't like.
7:48.